Agent Romanoff. You miss me?
Oh yeah, Charles, we got ourselves an X-Men fan.
Captain.
Your Highness.
Captain, big fan, Spider-Man. Hey everyone.
Hey guys, and welcome to Filmartsy, your number one source for all things films and movies. And over the course of the existence of the MCU, there's definitely been a lot of questions as to when it comes to the Sony projects like Spider-Man, Venom, and Mobius, are they actually a part of the MCU, and what's going on with those moving forward? Well, it seems like Kevin Feige now has somewhat, to a minimum capacity, elaborated a little bit on what could come in the future, and while not explicitly answering anything, it is really interesting to kind of see where this stance on things like Venom exist in the bigger picture of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at this recent interview that he did with Rotten Tomatoes. And with this two-part interview that Kevin Feige did with Rotten Tomatoes, we got to actually hear a lot about the previous entries in the MCU, along with what we can expect from the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And this, of course, was incredibly interesting to hear because there's some really big insight to what we might be seeing very soon. And for the first time ever, we got some sort of acknowledgement of some of the other series that Sony is working on, like Venom and Mobius. It is really interesting to finally get a look and kind of get an idea as to where these movies possibly stand in the future. There's been a ton of speculation as to whether or not Venom and Mobius would officially be a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in some capacity, or if it would remain in this ambiguous space, and we didn't quite get a black and white answer from Kevin Feige, but still, it was interesting to hear him at least acknowledge the existence of Sony's other projects and leave the door very much so open for any possible crossovers or inclusions for the MCU.
As it relates to any characters that Marvel Studios hasn't brought to the screen yet. But I will say what I've always said, which is, having been at Marvel for 20 years, I wouldn't dismiss anything, or I wouldn't rule anything out. When and how and where remains to be seen. It could be, any rumor that you read online could happen anytime between tomorrow and never.
And like we said, while it's not completely black and white as to what we can expect from the next Venom film or what we can expect from Mobius and how this might combine into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, at the very least, it seems like the possibility or the door is open, or maybe there are some plans or something in the background that Kevin Feige's just not ready to talk about just yet, as there's still some plot elements and other things that might need to build up to a moment like this where we see these characters technically from a standalone universe make their way into the official capacity in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But it is interesting nonetheless that we didn't get a denial, but we also didn't get a full-on confirmation in this interview. We also got to hear a little bit about some of the other big projects coming up, like Shang-Chi, The Eternals, and most interestingly enough, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Now, of course, it was incredibly shocking and surprising when Chadwick Boseman passed away, and it's reassuring to listen to Kevin Feige elaborate a little bit on the steps that went into planning out the future for Black Panther after Chadwick Boseman passed away and how they want to preserve his legacy.
Who are you?
Yes, the death of Chad hit all of us extremely hard, and at the same time as it hit the world, because we didn't know either. And there were all sorts of questions, and our first thought for many weeks afterwards had nothing to do with the movie. It had to do with him and his family and his...
So what do you guys think about the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Do you think that they're going to handle Black Panther: Wakanda Forever in a respectful way? And also, what are your thoughts on the possibility of these Sony projects being incorporated into the greater picture of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Be sure to subscribe with notifications on for more videos like this uploaded every day of the week. That's it for today though. We'll see you all next time with a brand new video.